The specter of impeachment looms larger than ever over President Trump tonight. The crucial votes in the U.S. House of Representatives are set for midweek. Congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins begins our coverage.
With a gray winter cloud over Washington, Congress is slowly returning to town, but news and events are moving more quickly. The House Judiciary Committee released a several hundred-page report laying out the history, evidence, and central argument behind its articles of impeachment. The committee wrote, where a president engages in a course of conduct involving serious betrayal of national interest through foreign entanglements or corruption of office and elections, impeachment is justified. On Twitter, President Trump again rejected the charges, calling the process an impeachment hoax and a con job. This as key Democrats in Trump-leaning areas begin to declare how they'll vote.
On the very basic facts that the President of the United States...
Michigan Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin faced an audibly conflicted crowd at a town hall today, including some vocal pro-Trump protesters. Seen as an influential freshman, the former intelligence worker said she wrestled with the decision, but the president's request to Ukraine made her feel she must impeach.
As a CIA officer and as someone who has sworn an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, reaching out to a foreign power is something fundamentally different.
On CNN, Colorado's Jason Crow also said he will vote to impeach, but he stopped short of saying the president should be removed. But another moderate Democrat, New Jersey's Jeff Van Drew, reportedly disagrees. According to multiple outlets, he plans to vote against impeachment and switch to the Republican Party. As the House prepares for votes, the Senate prepares for an expected trial. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer today made an offer for how it could work. Schumer wrote Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell last night, suggesting opening presentations by each side and 4 witnesses: acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, former National Security Advisor John Bolton, senior White House Advisor Robert Blair, and budget official Michael Duffy. All have declined House requests to testify, but other testimony indicates they all may have heard directly from the president about Ukraine.
These are the best 4 witnesses for that case. And by the way, we don't want to be dilatory. We don't want to stress this out any longer than we have to. But these people are crucial and haven't been heard from. And again, that's the difference with 1999, and it's a total difference.
This as some Senate Republicans, like South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, are pushing for a short Senate trial.
The president was denied the ability to participate meaningful in the House hearing, and I want to end it. I have nothing but disdain for this.
The House vote is expected Wednesday.
And Lisa joins me now at the table. Lisa, so much to keep track of here, but you reported on how several moderate Democrats are handling this. What do we know about any other moderate Democrats?
Just in the space of the last few hours, we've seen many more come out. Virginia's Abigail Spanberger, for example, also another Virginian, Jennifer Wexton today. It seems, Judy, that of the Democrats to think about, it's a group of about 18 to 20 that are probably the most vulnerable here, especially freshmen. So far, all of those vulnerable Democrats who have announced for impeachment, except for the one that we pointed out, Jeff Van Drew, who reportedly will be for impeachment and switch parties.
From New Jersey.
That's right.
So now what more do we know about what's next in the House before this Wednesday vote?
Wednesday will be the big day. Tomorrow, however, will be a long and important day. The House Rules Committee will debate the rules for debate. How exactly will they talk about impeachment on Wednesday? Judy, that's going to be a long day. They will start at 11 a.m., potentially go all day long debating how to approach impeachment. In the end, we expect Democrats to get the rules that they want. And so it's just to say you can watch the process tomorrow, but Wednesday is really the big day.
And then what about in the Senate? It happens in January, but there are already preparations, as you reported.
Let's take a closer look at what Senator Schumer is proposing, and it's such an interesting political idea. He wants to sort of set the bar at the beginning. He would like the trial to begin there January 7th, of course, assuming the House passes articles as expected this week. He would propose even time for pro and con impeachment, including the president's legal team in there, and then he would like witnesses to be public and live. And Judy, that's significant because in 1999, as Schumer was talking about during the Clinton impeachment, some might remember that the witness testimony was not live. It was recorded in depositions. Monica Lewinsky on camera recorded something, and excerpts of those videos were shown to senators, not actual live testimony. Here Schumer wants live testimony. The understanding is that Senator McConnell wants a shorter trial. He does not seem to want these witnesses or perhaps any witnesses, but discussions will be ongoing.
Still a lot to work out there.
That's right.
So separately, Lisa, you're reminding us lawmakers are working on a giant government funding bill. It includes some interesting things, including health care funding involving young people, tobacco. Tell us about that.
This is some huge news out of the House and Senate tonight, Judy. In the spending deal that we touched on last week, we are seeing the details. And the number one, Judy, Senate and House negotiators have agreed to raise the minimum age for purchasing tobacco products in this country to 21. This is a map of where the minimum age is 21 now. So this change will affect many states, Judy. And I just found out from some sources that this change, and in the bill text that was just released, the change would go into effect over the next 3 to 5 years. But this is a huge change for those who think that, cigarettes are very harmful, including Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. This is a Republican and Democrat bipartisan agreement.
So interesting. And then you've learned more about what's in this big funding bill.
Quickly, let me run through some other very big highlights. This is significant news. First, at the top of the list, gun violence. This spending deal would spend $25 million for research into gun violence, the first time in 2 decades for that, Judy. Also, another big item, it would repeal some of the Affordable Care Act taxes for healthcare, the Cadillac tax for very kind of large health insurance plans, and the medical device tax also. And this deal would include $425 million for election security. All of these huge items that have stopped bills dead in their tracks for years, but somehow as everyone's focused on impeachment, these appropriators have been able to make these very large deals, and Democrats especially, it seems tonight, are kind of putting out things that they feel are large gains. I mean, gun violence, a huge issue, and this is the first time we've seen any change on that issue in Congress.
And that's something the NRA had opposed
That's
for
right.
a long time.
There were actually legislation in place banning that research. Not only now will it be allowed, it will be funded by Congress.
Such a huge story. A lot of
If
lot
the
to
president
follow
signs.
there.
We expect the president to sign, but he still must. Yeah.
Lisa Desjardins, thank you.
You're welcome.